Hare Krishna. Welcome everyone to 22nd Avenue. Is anyone here for the first time?
In this place,
okay.
It's the first time.
Not in the Hare Krishna temples, generally speaking, but 22nd Avenue. Gotcha. Thank you for the distinction, clarifying. Okay, so this is where Srila Prabhupada began the Hare Krishna movement. Not like people are speaking. It's not helpful. So during this is where Srila Prabhupada had his first center for the Hare Krishna movement around the world, and so it's historical, but spiritual history is eternal. So Srila Prabhupada is always here, and he blesses us in our endeavors to spread the glories of Krishna's teachings. And Srila Prabhupada gave Bhagavad Gita classes here, and so following in his footsteps and in order to please him, that's what we're doing here. And so every Saturday we go through the Bhagavad Gita every week in order, verse by verse. So happy to have people here. So the schedule is we have a class now till 7 p.m. Then we'll have another kirtan like this. Then we'll have prasadam fire before 7:30, and that'll be. And prasadam is that's a vegetarian meal, but it's part of the spiritual practice because the food is offered in a prayerful way to God, and that makes it part of the spiritual offering to God, which makes it the food itself has a spiritual aspect to it. So that's the program, and then we have a special guest speaker passing through town as a traveling teacher in Krishna consciousness. So Acharya Nishtha, Prabhu, thank you for coming, Prabhu. It's been a long time since you've been here. Thanks for coming. So, and then the class, I think I said it was chapter 9, text 12, right? Is that what we told you? So we have some Bhagavad Gitas that if you want to follow along with a hard copy, Meru will provide you one. You can borrow one. Or if you want to follow on your phone, the website, if you don't know it, it's vedabase.io, and there's a link to the Bhagavad Gita there, vedabase.io. Yeah. So Hare Krishna, thank you. Move your setup there a little more centered, so you're not in the corner. Yeah. If you don't mind. Yeah.
Haribol. Thank you. If anyone wants to come up closer, we're a very small group, so it might make it easier to hear. And you all are visiting from somewhere?
We're visiting from Italy.
Oh, Italy. Wonderful.
We practice kirtan consciousness in Italy. So we are here on holidays, and we wanted to take the opportunity of visiting a couple of temples.
Yes.
So today here and tomorrow in Italy. I don't know if you're familiar with the Prabhupada Dash in Italy.
Yes.
Okay.
Wonderful.
That is the temple that we are very close to.
Jai. Thank you so much for being here.
Are you all together?
Yes, we are a family.
All four of you.
Yeah, four of us. Yeah.
She and I visit Italy sometimes when we visit the temple. But I'm not sure about 500.
No, we didn't.
We visit Florence.
Villa Vrindavan.
Yeah, we visit there a few times. And then many years ago, I don't think it's there anymore. There was a restaurant in Rome.
Okay, no, it's not,
I think they changed it.
It's not there anymore.
Yeah.
They moved to Velletri, which is a little bit far away from Rome. It's always in the province of Rome, but it's not there. Now, the only Govinda place in Italy, for as much as I know, is in Milan.
Oh,
And it's connected to the Medolago temple.
Yeah.
Oh, we visited this one actually too. Yeah. Thank you.
Our spiritual master is from the area of Florence. Matsyavatara Prabhu.
What's his name?
Oh,
Matsyavatara Prabhu.
Matsyavatara.
Yeah, there are two initiative gurus in Italy. It's Matsyavatara Prabhu and Madhusavita Prabhu in the north. Madhuraya.
okay. Wonderful to have you here.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. So warm welcome again to everyone in this very historic place, which has just been remodeled to match as much as possible the original setting when Prabhupada was here. So therefore, if you notice, things are quite different from years ago. And the idea is to exactly replicate what it was like when Srila Prabhupada was giving talks here. So as Atma Prabhu said, Srila Prabhupada is still here. Yes, Vaishnavas live in sound. So we'll be associating with Srila Prabhupada now by reading his Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 9, text 12. Do you usually respond?
We do
or
both ways, so whichever you prefer.
whichever you prefer? Okay,
Yeah.
so I'll chant the verse, and then maybe everyone can chant the verse together. Moga shamoga karmano moga jnana vichetasaha rakshashema surim chaiva prakritim mohinim shritaha. Now together. Moga shamoga karmano moga jnana vichetasaha rakshashema surim chaiva Prakritim mohinim shritaha. Translation. Those who are thus bewildered are attracted by demonic and atheistic views. In that deluded condition, their hopes for liberation, their fruitive activities, and their culture of knowledge are all defeated. Purport. There are many devotees who assume themselves to be in Krishna consciousness and devotional service, but at heart do not accept the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, as the absolute truth. For them, the fruit of devotional service, going back to Godhead, will never be tasted. Similarly, those who are engaged in fruitive pious activities and who are ultimately hoping to be liberated from this material entanglement will never be successful either, because they deride the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. In other words, persons who mock Krishna are to be understood to be demonic or atheistic. As described in the 7th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, such demonic miscreants never surrender to Krishna. Therefore, their mental speculations to arrive at the absolute truth bring them to the false conclusion that the ordinary living entity and Krishna are one and the same. With such a false conviction, they think that the body of any human being is now simply covered by material nature, and that as soon as one is liberated from this material body, there is no difference between God and himself. This attempt to become one with Krishna will be baffled because of delusion. Such atheistic and demoniac cultivation of spiritual knowledge is always futile. That is the indication of this verse. For such persons, cultivation of the knowledge in the Vedic literature, like the Vedanta Sutra and the Upanishads, is always baffled. It is a great offense, therefore, to consider Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, to be an ordinary man. Those who do so are certainly deluded, because they cannot understand the eternal form of Krishna. The Brihad Vishnu Smriti clearly states, Yo veti bhautikam deham krishnasya paramatmanaha sasarvasmad bahishkarya shrota smarta vidhanataha mukham tasyavalokyaphi sachelam snanam acharet. One who considers the body of Krishna to be material should be driven out from all rituals and activities of the Shruti and the Smriti. And if one by chance sees his face, one should at once take a bath in the Ganges to rid himself of infection. People jeer at Krishna because they're envious of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Their destiny is certainly to take birth after birth in the species of atheistic and demoniac life. Perpetually, their real knowledge will remain under delusion, and gradually they will regress to the darkest region of creation. Hare Krishna. Om Ajnanatirmirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Panchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Eva Cha Patitanan Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. So, we have a strong verse tonight. I hope you're ready. I hope you brought your dancing shoes or your armor, your boxing gloves, because Srila Prabhupada is going to explore certain defects in philosophies which do not accept the form of Krishna. So for those who may be here for the first time, this is an incredible tradition dating back thousands of years. And while many religions talk about God or worship God, very few give a lot of details about God. It's quite vague. God is somewhere there, he's all-powerful, but we don't really know much about him. He's strong, he's good. We don't know much details. So this Eastern tradition from India is very unique because it gives all of the details. And only recently, as we're here in this historic place, some 50 years ago, Srila Prabhupada came and brought this message practically for the first time to the Western world. That's why most people still have not yet heard about Krishna in the West. Or they've maybe heard in some religion class, and who knows what they were taught. So if you talk to most people about Krishna, they don't know about Krishna, or they probably have some wrong idea about Krishna. So this is, historically a critical time, because it's just now that these Sanskrit literatures were translated and mass distributed. So right now, historically, we're seeing a shift, actually. We're seeing a religious revival of Vedic, what we would say, Dharma. We see how this traditional Indian spirituality is influencing our modern day. The great upsurge of vegetarianism, of yoga, of ideas like non-violence. These are all coming from the original Vedic texts, for the most part. So this is a very exciting time, and we're seeing changes already. We're seeing positive changes, and this knowledge is given so that we can go deeper and deeper, understand more and more about the details of God and of spiritual life. So this verse is very clear. I think it's pretty clear what Krishna is saying, and it's relating to a previous verse that he's saying, thus bewildered. So who are we talking about who's thus bewildered? Well, the previous verse was mentioned, avajananti mam mudha manusim tanam ashratam param bhavam ajanato mama bhuta maheshwaram. The foolish people, they don't understand Krishna. It's very incredible that we're given this knowledge about God. In other paths, the details about God are not given. It's considered a more confidential, esoteric knowledge that maybe when one actually gets there, they'll understand. So here we're being given details of God prior to even having qualification of seeing God or understanding God. So it's very glorious, but it also requires caution. That's why Srila Prabhupada is taking time in this purport to caution that one should accept Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One should not be attracted by these asuric, demoniac views of misunderstanding Krishna. So in the previous text, Krishna says, "Fools deride me when I descend in the human form. They do not know my transcendental nature as the Supreme Lord of all that be." So these people who are misled, then what is their fate? Moga sa, moga karma no, moga jnana. Everything is basically rendered useless. Their hopes, asha means hope. So if you don't understand Krishna, or if you misunderstand Krishna, if you're bewildered by lower consciousness about Krishna, then all of your hopes will be destroyed. They will be unfulfilled, baffled. Prabhu says they'll be baffled. We all have hopes in life, right? Everyone has some desires. So the spiritual knowledge actually is for our own self-interest. It's for our own benefit. As a soul, the ultimate hope of happiness, eternal happiness, that we get by understanding Krishna. Nothing else in this world can give the soul unending happiness. Moga karma no, their karma, their activities, or it says here fruit of activities, whatever we're doing, whatever someone is doing, that's also baffled. And whatever knowledge one may seem to have, this is also baffled in knowledge. But further, rakshashim asuram chaiva prakritim mohanim shrita. They take shelter of rakshasim and asurim, prakritim. The nature of rakshasas and asuras. So the Vedic cosmology, it talks about different planetary systems, different beings in the universe. We have angels. What's the opposite of angels? Yeah, in this world there's always opposites, right? So we have very angelic beings, then there's another side of the spectrum too. The demoniac, or how did you say? Yeah, demoniac beings also. There's evil forces. So these people who reject Krishna, then they take shelter of this nature, the demoniac nature, rakshasas and asuras. So we don't want that. And therefore, Prabhupada takes extra time in these purports to illuminate the position of Krishna, so that as devotees we understand clearly, and we can help eradicate the misconceptions out there about Krishna. Maybe in religious textbooks, in other religions, Krishna, one of the reflections I was having on this verse is that Krishna, God, is a person. So our spiritual life it's connecting with a person. It's not just about achieving something, acquiring something, succeeding in something. It's actually about developing a personal relationship of love with a person. So this can help us. Sometimes we're more in the doership mode. I'm going to do Krishna consciousness. I'm going to succeed and accomplish. But it's really about the reciprocation that we're seeking of love with God. So we hear about love of God. Many religions talk about love of God. And Srila Prabhupada says the Vedic scriptures are unique, that they actually give instructions on how one can love God in the highest degree. In other religions, they officially promote love of Godhead, but they don't actually give instructions or the means how to develop it. So I've studied a lot of religions. I love studying religion. I was studying religion in college. And I found this to be true. You should love God, but how to do that, it's not so easy. And therefore, these bhakti literatures, They give the details how, and as we said, to the highest degree. So Srila Prabhupada came here bringing the highest degree of love of Godhead. This is, as we're talking about these higher beings, there's humans, there's angels, there's devas, there's Gandharvas, there's Siddhas, there's the demigods, the highest beings in the whole universe. What Prabhupada is coming here and giving in New York City, it's much higher than the devotion in these higher realms. So this is the, we say causeless mercy or undeserved mercy, that Srila Prabhupada came here to open up this storehouse of love of Godhead right here on 26 2nd Avenue. And it's still being distributed. It's not that because Prabhupada is physically no longer here that we missed our chance. It's going to remain. The opportunity is available and it will remain available. So the wisdom of the Gita again and again guides us and encourages us. And this was Prabhupada's program to study Bhagavad Gita. Sometimes we think, okay, I've read the Gita, time to go into something else, time to study so many other books. But we see that we always like to come back to the Gita, actually. The Gita is like the supreme transcendental dissertation of God. He's speaking about himself. So, few specific points are mentioned here. Prabhupada says, those who mock Krishna are understood to be demonic or atheistic. So sometimes the tendency is there in the ego to mock something we don't know, we don't understand, we don't like. We kind of make fun of it. But Prabhupada explains people jeer at Krishna because they're envious of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So what's really behind that is this dvesha that we have towards God. And in the Western world, we're so covered by the modes of material nature. We're so covered that even God we will mock, or we will even, people can make fun, jeer, these words are given. Even God. So this shows how distant we are, how fallen we could say we are. But the process of bhakti yoga is so powerful that even in the beginning we may not understand, we may not have that proper understanding. But in a very short time, actually one can make leaps and strides in the soul's spiritual journey. Prabhupada says in one lifetime we can go back to Goloka Vrindavan. Goloka Vrindavan is the highest spiritual realm in existence. It's the most intimate love of God, where Krishna is always surrounded by his loving devotees, always in ever new and fresh ways, reciprocating, ecstatic. That's what we're looking for. We need that love. We don't feel love here often. I venture to say everyone here, we don't feel that love. Sometimes we feel some love, but we're lacking love. Yeah, that's why we're suffering. So we need that love, and that love also manifests through devotees. We need to have love exchange with devotees. Because we're human beings, we need love. So that highest love in Goloka Vrindavan, where every step is a dance, every word is a song, the flute is the constant attendant. That's what very quickly Prabhupada will give. But there's a price to pay. One has to dedicate themselves. One has to decide, this is the highest thing, this is the only thing worth really doing. And we can make that choice. We all have free will. So then it's also a science. So one can make that decision, yes, but then one also has to follow the science. Some traditions, they go more on just the acceptance. If you accept Jesus, that's it, you're done. Mission accomplished. But that's not exactly really what Jesus taught. And that's not also in Krishna consciousness. We accept Krishna. And then we have to demonstrate that acceptance. We have to live that acceptance by adopting things that are favorable and rejecting things that are unfavorable. The whole science is given by Rupa Goswami. I'll just wave to some passerbys, invite them in. This prime real estate here. So, where would we leave off?
We were talking about different religions, like you said, you have to demonstrate.
Yeah, we have to demonstrate it. Bhakti is a transcendental science. It's very scientific. If we and therefore if you're a scientist, you need to become very acquainted with the science. Prabhu here's a lawyer. If he's not well acquainted with the law books, the previous cases, he's going into a field or a case that he's unprepared for. He may not do so well. But if he knows, he's studied, he's familiar with all the details, all the previous cases, how they turned out, he's going to do very well, most likely. It's just natural. So bhakti is also that science, the most important science. And somehow or other, although we know it's very important, sometimes we don't actually take the time to learn the science. Am I the only one? Somehow or other, so many other things seem to take precedence. This is the scary part. Yes, I want Krishna, I want to go to Golok Vrindavan, I know it's the best thing, but so many other things seem to creep into our day, in our head, in our life. So then we need to understand why that's happening. And not even just for bhakti, but I think in the world today, there's an observable trend, distraction. All the companies are aware of this. All the marketing agencies, they know how people how the human psychology works, how our brain works, how we get attracted to things, how things can the funnel marketing. You start here. So we're in a very difficult time right now with the technology explosion. And right in our hands, we have unlimited hours of distraction, as many as you want. So how to overcome that tendency, how to develop that strength to choose the higher road than the distraction. This is what we need. And this is what we have to work on and build as a community. And I really love this program because it's very simple and it's very consistent. And this is what can really help us. We need to develop community. We need to develop sangha. We need to develop devotional relationships. Some things in life you can try to do on your own, but don't make spiritual life one of them. You can do for some time. Myself, I was quite individualist, quite isolated in the beginning of my spiritual life. I went hiking in the woods for 6 months, just living alone in the forest, meditating. Actually, I had Bhagavad Gita with me. And it was beautiful. It was beautiful. But how long can you do that? And then you realize after some time, this is not a lifelong thing. So then we, again, because we're seeking love, we come back searching for that love. This will go till 7, Prabhu?
Roughly.
Yeah, and then we'll do kirtan after.
That's good.
So we should be cautious of this tendency to not understand Krishna, to misunderstand, to go step by step, to use guidance, and gradually relish. We need to relish Krishna's pastimes. If we're not taking time to relish Krishna Lila, then we will never really get attracted to this movement. We'll start relishing other things, like I just came from Times Square. So many relishable things are there for when we have the jaundice. If we have jaundice, then the real thing which is sweet, it tastes bitter. So if we're jaundiced, then Times Square seems like where it's at. There's the big screens, there's like all the little shops and the little restaurants, the little everything, wow. But spiritually, what's there? Not much. Fortunately, devotees are there, spreading the Hare Krishna mantra there. So this tendency is there to misunderstand Krishna, and therefore we need to take the science very seriously, to not make that mistake, and not have our hopes baffled or our actions baffled, or our knowledge baffled. Yeah, we have so much to get attracted to. We have really like a whole assortment of relishable things to get absorbed in. Acharyas, Shastras, the books. There's classes, there's discussion, different kathas, different, yeah, so these are the things that we need to get the taste for. And ultimately, I just personally came back from Mayapur. And Mayapur is a holy town in India where this Hare Krishna movement, we could say, started originally by Lord Chaitanya. And that's where this ocean of love of Godhead was first opened up in Srivas Angan, the courtyard of Srivas Thakur, where Mahaprabhu and all his associates would be dancing and chanting, completely oblivious of the material world. That world that we are so invested in, they just forgot it. The higher levels of spiritual experience, one becomes oblivious of this material world. It's like insignificant. That how much more significant is that superior world? And that's where we are all hankering to go. We just have to go through this journey, this reawakening, this awakening of our spiritual nature. And we have so many resources, help to do that by the devotees. And therefore Gaur Nitai wanted to spread this. They started there in Navadvip, and Lord Chaitanya instructed his followers, Yare Dekha Taika Krishna Upadesh Amoy Agyoy Guru Hantare Desh. Wherever you go, whomever you meet, tell them about Krishna. That was instruction he gave. And Prabhu says this is instruction to all of us. And this way we can eradicate the problems here, avoid these unfavorable moods of the asuras and the rakshasas. And also we help fulfill Lord Chaitanya's desire that his name will be spread in every town and village. Every town and village, Moranam, my name will be heard. So we still have to fulfill that. That hasn't, I dare to say, happened yet. We have more towns and villages we have to go. Spread the name of Mahaprabhu. Isn't that that's a wonderful service. That's a wonderful engagement that will keep us busy. That if we get busy enough with that, then we won't have time for Maya. We won't have time for all the distraction. We have to be positively engaged. The idle mind is the devil's workshop, or Maya's workshop. So this is our mission. We should take it seriously, get prepared, find out how we can do it, in what way. And as soon as we leave this door, we are on call. We are on the service, on the job, on the clock, because our time is limited. So I would like to see, we've talked about some different points, and what really also helps the whole process is to dig a little deeper. And some of these things, yeah, but what about this? What about that? How does this work? If we get to that level of our intelligence, our mind, to inquire more deeply, then we enter deeper into these subjects. Just hearing, it reaches a certain level of the intelligence. But when we ask questions, or we examine in different lights, then it goes deeper in the intelligence. It's a very active process. So I would love to ask now if anyone during this short discussion has any thoughts on this matter, or any questions or doubts, or anything you'd like to share. then we make it a participatory setting here. There's not so many of us, but all of you have good thoughts as well on this topic. So, anyone would like to ask any question or comment, please feel free.
Go ahead.
Just a small question.
Yes, sir.
So we live like in kind of moral universe. The higher your level of consciousness, on higher planet of this universe you live, right? But we see in this purport that like Rakshasas, Asuras in demonic lives, they like on the same level. But we know that Rakshasa actually lives higher than ours, and they have like I would say like more light bodies, and that they live like between like heaven planets and our like heart of Asha, right? Somewhere in between. So why it's like the same? So describing the same.
Yeah.
Asuras who lives like underground levels, and then Rakshasa who lives like actually higher.
Oh, it's nice people check it out. I think we need a big sign, free dinner. And we get a lot of people. Oh, we can have someone out there handing out cards, just like the business. No, I'm just kidding. But that's the best, sometimes marketing, just right outside the door.
Yeah.
Yes, Prabhuji, yes. What I understand of this, that generally that listing in the Srimad Bhagavatam of the categories of life forms, then the demons are on a higher position than human beings like that. I think that has to do with, as you said, the form of life and the power of that form. The lower animals, they have less power. Humans have a certain degree, and there's more powerful beings. So the Rakshasas and demons are actually more powerful than humans. So in that sense, they're higher. And the more ethereal realms, like Bhuvarloka, above this realm, then those beings inhabit there. So why it's like that? That has to do with the nature of the universe, the modes of material nature. Let's say might is not right. It's not that just because they have more power that they're in a superior position. In fact, all of the devas, they offer prayers that how glorious is life of human life in Bharat Bhumi. The demigods, the higher beings, the angels and the celestial beings, they want to come and take an ordinary human birth. The human birth is considered the supermost, actually. Yeah, and just imagine how short it is. And the Kali Yuga, it's full of anxieties. Manda sumanda matayo manda bhagya. It's full of anxiety and stress, full of calamities. It's very short, it's getting shorter. You basically have a few years. Yeah, just a few years. But all the demigods want to come and take that experience, that birth, that body that you have. The demigods want that. That's amazing. How powerful are the demigods? Celestial beings with practically unlimited powers. They want to take a simple human birth that we have. I know my personal body, it's quite weak, skinny. I don't get I'm not a very husky, strong guy.
You're great.
But that body is desired by the Devatas. Why? Because that human body in Kali Yuga, you can get the highest achievement. Kalim sabha jayanti arya gunagrasara bhagina yatra sankirtana vaiva sarvasvarta vilabhyate. By engaging in sankirtan in the Kali Yuga, in this human form of life, you can achieve the supreme goal, as we said, Goloka Vrindavan, which is not so easily accessible in the heavenly realms, in other yugas, other life forms. So we're on the top, actually. We're actually in the highest position. We're in the best position. Over millions of lifetimes. We're in a very critical junction now. of our soul's evolution, our soul's trajectory through material world. Very, very, very significant situation right now. We can actually achieve cessation of samsara and attainment of what we call swarup siddhi, or vastu siddhi, or realize our transcendental spiritual form, which is built for eternal service. It is existing to serve Krishna, nothing else. Who we really are is an eternal servant of Krishna, to be endlessly engaged in God's loving service. That's who we really are. And our nature, which does not align with that, is artificial and illusory. So as we say, it's kind of like spiritual amnesia. This is how Prabhupada described it. We've forgotten who we are, and now we put on all of these costumes. Like when we go out there, like sometimes we do Harinam in Washington Square Park, and it's quite an interesting scene. You have so many different people doing different things. It's very colorful. Everyone has their unique look, vibe, activities, and it's very personal. So everyone has their different costume. It's actually just a costume. It's like a big drama. So we also have our costumes on. But beyond that, we have this deeper spiritual nature of ourself, which is a blissful, ecstatic, loving servant of Krishna in one of the 5 rasas. As a servant, in a parental mood, in a friendly mood. This is a unique contribution of the bhakti text. They explain how the soul has a unique relationship with God in a particular mood. A friendly mood with God. God is your friend. And the most elevated is as a conjugal lover, as an intimate lover, having God as your intimate lover. Yes, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes to distribute this. So that's why it's a very unique contribution to theological study and practice in our modern day, and should be spread widely. I hope that answered your question, Prabhu. Anyone else? Yes.
So nice to have you here, Prabhuji. Also like your style, very humble, but very direct. Just curious, like you said, you study religions, different religions and stuff like that. Maybe you could tell a little bit about your path.
Okay, but that's a good point actually that we could bring up. How different religions, I was reflecting on this, that Krishna consciousness is giving the real concept of God. And the other people who mock or jeer at Krishna, this doesn't seem like, you might think that would be more for atheistic people very far away from spiritual life. But what I venture to say is that actually many religious people do this. This is a danger of religion, misunderstood religion, that I think a lot of other religions would be guilty of that. Although they are practicing spiritual life, they seem to become more averse to Krishna than those who are not practicing. The common people, they don't mind if you're chanting Hare Krishna or you're teaching Bhagavad Gita, but certain religious people will have a big problem and will make a lot of offenses and really just give a big disturbance, embodying these descriptions that we talked about. So interestingly, religious people tend to be guilty of what we're being warned about here. I find that remarkable and concerning, because it means there's some gap, some disconnect in the religion, the philosophy of that religion. That's an area I'm very interested in, and I'm working towards it. I'm doing some work actually in trying to help clarify and trying to help reconnect certain modern day religious conceptions with their origin, because at the origin we find the pure essence. But over time we see religions can degrade, new teachings can come up, and then things can get very ugly. And then things can get very violent. All of these degradations. So therefore the science, the spiritual science is very important. The spiritual science can disarm these erroneous deviations in the religions. Isn't that remarkable that it's like those are the people who have issue with Krishna? It's scary. It's a very, very sad phenomenon. Personally, I don't know why. It must be some scar or impression, but I became very interested in spiritual life at a certain point. I was just going to high school, having a normal high school experience, but I had some experience that really made me question, what is the point? What is the point of life? Why? Why? If there's no point, it's just useless. What is the point? And that drove me into spiritual life. And then I started getting into Christianity. And then I also found wisdom books on Buddhism and meditation. I started meditating. I had these incredible experiences of meditation. I thought, wow. But how does that connect with Christianity or love of God? So then I wanted to ultimately kind of understand how there are these different paths, but there's one essence. So I studied a lot of different religions, and then in college I decided I should study religion. So I did that, and it was wonderful. I was very, very content getting to study what I liked, all these different world religions. And then ultimately I realized you can't actually learn religion in a classroom. Something you have to go out and live. So then I left the university, and I started backpacking, hiking, also doing some volunteer work in my spiritual quest. And then when I came back to my home at that time, which was in Maryland, Bethesda, Maryland, then I thought, this is the nation's capital. There must be some temples here, something cool, some cool temple to go to. So then I went online and I found the Sunday feast, vegetarian Sunday feast. So I said, okay, let's check it out. And then the first time I went, I knew this was what I've been searching for. Yeah, that's a little bit. We have a little more time. Anyone else? How about from our, or from Prabhu? Yes, anyone? Okay, yes.
Sure.
From our Italian
I
recipients.
just wanted to check my understanding, because what I heard, I just wanted to check if it is correct or not, but is that at the beginning, with the creation, God created both the Devas and the Asuras. Is this correct? Because I have the next question.
Yeah, that's correct. Krishna says that in Bhagavad Gita, in the very beginning of creation. As I sent forth generations, well, he says men and demigods along with Yagya, blessing them, be thou happy by the sacrifice. In terms of the most recent universal creation, I mean, we see that there's self-born sons of Brahma. The Brahma is the self-born son of Narayan, and from Brahma's sons, the progenitors, and even there's histories of demons. So they seem to be created simultaneously, yes.
Yeah, but what I have always learned is that our actions determine our destiny.
Mm-hmm.
So how is it possible that there is a predetermination?
Well,
you're a Deva or a Asura?
Yeah, but the universe is, let's say, bhutva praliyate. It's manifest and unmanifest since time immemorial, the material nature. So in this universe foundation, they may not have karma, but from a previous manifestation, previous universe, then the karma is continuing. So it need not just start all of a sudden. They can be carrying karma, just like Narada Muni, before he was the son of a maidservant.
Okay, so...
And then he took birth as Narada. I mean, he explains this. He achieved a form. I mean, that's interesting.
Okay, so if I understand correctly, what you're saying is that Bhagavad Gita is speaking about the last creation. It's not speaking about the former creation or the first creation.
Yeah. I mean,
So
it's hard to say the first creation. It's hard to say the first creation because it's an eternal process.
Yes.
This is really mind-bending, actually. This is really inconceivable. It's vyakta and avyakta. Manifest and unmanifest for eternity. We've been around. Same with this material nature. And Krishna is pervading every speck of this universe. All of this so-called matter is Krishna's energy. It's being like, one friend was joking with me that, I had some paper cup and I was like, do I just throw this or do I recycle it? And he was saying, this whole universe is recycled. So, actually it's also sacred, it's God's energy. That's why the great devotees, they respect all beings and also the material energy itself. Therefore we don't kick things on this, we don't kick stuff, even the material nature is Krishna's energy. So we're taught to be respectful. That's a nice meditation also. That can change the way we live in this world. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you. Yes?
Prabhu, thank you for being here.
Haribo.
I was just thinking that the degradation of the heads of state in the world today has been accelerating dramatically. Like, for example, our president right here, so many crazy things.
We're being recorded.
Every time that I hear about what's going on, it's like a new law. Every time I hear about what's going on in the Middle East, it's another law. When you thought that there was already a law, there's even a lower law. It's like there's no bottom to this. So I was thinking that obviously there's an obvious idea of the body that's a sign that we need to get out of this material world.
Mm-hmm.
But is there another lesson or is there another point that myself or so that we can learn from this?
Yeah, I think one thing that strikes me is that we need to be involved. This should not be a spectator thing. We are supposed to be helping make the world the better place. So where are the devotees in this picture? Where are our representatives, Prabhupada's representatives on the world stage? I think we're still a very new society. We're still a very new religious movement. So we're still finding our place. We had a very monastic origin. Sometimes we carry that conception that a devotee is someone, they're aloof. They live aloof from the world and they just do their own meditation and chanting. But this was not how Prabhupada instructs us, and in the Bhagavad Gita also. We need to have devotees living in this world and showing the world by example. How much wisdom we have to share. How much I actually try. We can try to contact leaders. We should. And we should be in positions where we can have influence. And that's also happening. We have representatives in the UN. We have representatives meeting leaders. So there's a big opportunity is the other aspect I see of it. That we have the solution. We have the actual answer, So if you have the answer to some huge calamity, you don't just keep it locked up and keep it to yourself. You should be out there trying to share it. So I think this is showing us that we need to be present in the world, sharing our message. Yes, Prabhu.
An interesting thought on that point is devotees can try to influence leaders directly by meeting with them directly. But also if you just carry on in regular preaching or as they say, outreach. And in the latter instance, devotees are, without necessarily discriminating, giving Krishna consciousness to everyone and everyone who crosses their path. And in the course of that, that means that one may cross path with leaders or future leaders too. For example, I once distributed a book when I was a newer devotee in the Boston airport to the most famous Christian leader in the world, Billy Graham at the time. I don't know if you heard of him. And he gave a donation and took a book, and he appreciated the devotees, actually rather surprising for me. So that's, and I remember back in those days, in the 90s, where there was no internet. So, but devotees would exchange stories about different celebrities that they gave books to, which was always interesting, or rock stars, things like that. It's kind of interesting. So there's that too. Interesting.
Nice. Thank you.
Yeah. But we haven't done nearly enough. That's for sure. Just look at what you see out there, and you're right.
Yeah, another thing is that we have done a lot. We have done a lot of books. Does anyone know approximately how many books, Prabhupada's books have been distributed in the world? 500 million. 500 million. So the books have been getting out. I think the books are out there and continuing to get out there. So then we also, I think, see a kind of discord there. So many books are out there, yet we don't see as many people practicing relatively. So then there's also some need to connect deeper, follow up with people, and cultivate people. That's also a part of the equation, I think.
Just thank you for answering the question. The other point that I want to make, and I will try is that there's some people in this movement that says that the best thing that we can do is to be part of Harinam Sankirtan, which is to spread the holy name to the people that are still suffering. Others will say that you can do that, and you can also take part of the political process to if you have any ideas and can help out and do that as well. There's some people say, no, just do Harinam Sankirtan and that's all you have to do. Don't get involved. Do not get involved. So there's like a little line there, like what should I do? Should I do Harinam Sankirtan and also get involved? Or should I just refrain from getting involved? So because the things are so clear and it's so unprecedented, the level of degradation that we're experiencing right now.
Yeah, that can be tricky to understand one's, we say, sphere of influence, one's adhikar, or our capacity, and our sphere of influence, how much we can influence. So that takes some maturity, and then there's also then we can take guidance from others and seniors and leaders, gurus, mentors, who can also share a higher perspective on it for us. But ultimately, that's a personal issue. We can't give a blanket answer. For some, just doing the Harinam Sankirtan is maybe the right thing for them. For others, their nature may be different, or they may have received different spiritual instructions, so they may be involved differently. So it's a very personal thing. Ultimately, whatever facilitates our devotion, our bhakti, whatever will deepen our devotional service, that is to be accepted. So for some it may be wide preaching, or connecting with this, that may facilitate their bhakti, their depth. For someone else, it may be a distraction, and it may take them farther away from Krishna, whereas if they just get absorbed in the Yuga Dharma, then they may be able to advance more in that way. So yeah, it's a personal thing that we try to navigate with some guidance and association.
You know, it's interesting. There's more people.
We're gonna go do the kirtan now.
Yeah, we have some dinner before you go. Okay, so we'll pause here. It's 7 o'clock. So we'll have a little kirtan.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. By we eat as it is ki jai. Gaur Premanandi Hari Bol.
So you'll leave this kirtan, yes.
Okay.
What instrument? You play the
Harmonium.
right?
Harmonium.
You want me to help me with Vedana and just I don't go too fast. So that's the only thing.
Yeah, I think you're the best here.
How I run it.
Should I take this? Yeah.
What's that?
Is it possible to see a little bit this way? Because then we have Prabhupada and video, and when we record kirtan.
You want me to be?
Yeah, like here, so that we
Sure.
we have a Prabhupada and
Yeah,
this
yeah,
is
sure.
live on YouTube, so we come back. And this is great for the
That's good.
so we can have you on show.
Or maybe more. Should I go a little more?
And you play instruments besides kartals? Kartals is your instrument.
No, just I attempt to play kartals. And that's
Okay.
it. I used to play electric guitar once upon a time, more.
All right.
We'll go until what time? 7:20. Krishna Prishtaya Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna You want to close the machine here?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
It's amazing.
river.